All right, so buckle up, everybody, because tonight we're diving deep into some seriously spooky stuff.
Ooh, sounds promising.
You guys sent us some seriously creepy material for this deep dive.
And I've heard whispers.
Rumors. An excerpt titled The Last Voicemail.
I like the sound of that already.
Get ready for a chilling tale about a man named Raj.
Okay, Raj.
A mysterious voicemail.
Uh-oh.
And a late-night encounter that will leave you questioning everything.
All right, I'm hooked already. Let's do it.
So, picture this. Raj, our main man, is alone at home.
Okay.
It's a stormy night, the wind's howling outside, rain's lashing against the window.
Setting the scene, I like it.
And then, bam, he gets this voicemail from an unknown number.
Classic horror movie setup, right?
Totally classic. And you think, oh, wrong number, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But then he hits play.
Hmm.
It's a woman's voice.
Hmm.
Soft, trembling, almost a whisper.
Spooky.
And she's warning him, telling him not to come home.
Don't come home. Why?
Because they are watching, she says.
Okay, now we're talking. Who are they?
Right. Chills. Right. But it gets worse.
So you want to explore investing
more.
more.
Voicemail ends,
and you sent over this podcast episode all
name
about
that pops up on his
navigating
phone.
the Indian stock market. It's
Okay.
someone he knows.
And I know.
Someone he knew.
I know. It seems
could
a little
say,
specific,
"Oh, no.
right?
It's
India.
Nina, his
But
wife,
trust me on this
Who
one.
who died in a car
There are
accident
some
like
really
3 years
great
ago.
Hold on, wait a
nuggets
second.
of
A
wisdom
dead
in this
wife's
episode that apply no
voicemail.
matter
You got it.
where
Talk
you're
about a
thinking
mind
about
freak, right?
investing.
Yeah, I'd be
absolutely.
freaking out.
It's like
So Raj,
it's like learning the
naturally is
rules
like,
to a
what
game.
in the world is
Right.
going
You know,
on?
it's like
Of course,
whether
I mean,
you're playing in your
wouldn't you?
backyard or you're
Questioning
on a
my sanity
professional
with
field.
Exactly.
Right.
The fundamentals,
So he
the
replays
principles
the
are all the
message.
same.
Yeah,
Listens to it
exactly.
over and over again, trying to
So,
make sense of
let's
it.
break it down,
Any
starting with
clues?
the basics.
Nothing.
What is the
just
stock
his
market?
dead wife's
This
voice warning him
podcast,
about
they actually
something.
compare
Okay,
it
what does
to
he do
buying
next?
a piece
He
of
tries
a
calling the number back, obviously.
Like,
Yeah, I can
imagine
try.
you
But guess
could
what?
own
The number
a
doesn't
slice
exist.
of your
That's
favorite bakery.
creepy.
Okay.
And as the
Really
bakery
creepy.
grows
But now
and
he's
sells
really
more
starting to
treats,
freak out,
your
right?
I mean,
slice
I
becomes
would
more
be. It's
valuable,
like
right?
something out of a nightmare.
Just
Works.
when
Yeah,
you
it's a
think you
good
can't
way.
get
That's a
any
really good way to
creepier.
It does,
visualize
doesn't it?
Of
they
course it
use
does.
the
There's a
example
knock at the
of,
door.
what's
No
it called?
way.
Bombay
Yeah.
Stock
And remember,
Exchange.
it's still
Yeah.
this
But
crazy
whether
storm
it's,
raging
you know,
outside.
the BSE
the imagery
or
is
the New York
perfect.
Stock
Right.
Exchange.
Super
Right.
It's
spooky.
all,
And the knocking,
again,
it
those
doesn't
principles
stop.
are the
Oh, this is
same.
bad.
Supply
It
and
just gets
demand.
Yeah,
louder.
it makes total sense.
Louder, like,
Now, the podcast
aggressive.
mentions
More insistent, like whoever's out
needing
there.
a demot
need to
and
get in.
trading
I'm getting
account to
chills just
invest in
thinking
India.
And you
Okay.
can feel
Is that
Raj's
something that's
fear
just
just
specific
ratcheting
to
up, right?
India, or
Absolutely.
would
That
investors
feeling
in
of
other
dread,
countries
knowing
need like
something's
similar
wrong.
accounts?
He's terrified,
You
but also
think of it like needing
you
a
know,
bank account
morbidly
to manage your
curious.
money.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got to know who's
You know,
out
the
there.
specific
Exactly.
names might
So
differ
finally,
from country to
he
country,
cracks
but
it. Sure.
can't take it
Every
anymore.
country
He
has
opens
systems
the door.
for
Yeah. Throws
holding
open
and
the
trading
door,
stocks.
ready
Right.
to face
A lot of
whatever's out
places
there.
Who
would
is
open
it?
a brokerage
What
account,
is it?
Right.
which serves
Nothing.
a really similar purpose.
Gotcha.
Absolutely nothing.
The
empty
big
street
takeaway
in the
from this
pouring rain.
podcast, though, is
No
to choose
one
reputable
there? Are you
platforms.
kidding me?
Nope.
Okay.
Not a soul
Security
in
is
sight.
really important.
That's so
It
much
should
worse.
be. You don't want
Right,
your
it's
money
like,
to
what was
just
the point of all
disappear,
that?
right?
Just to mess
Exactly.
with them, I guess.
So let's talk
Exactly.
about the fun
So,
part, or at
Raj,
least I think it's
he's
the
got
fun
us stunned,
part.
right?
Let's talk about
Confused,
making money.
scared.
Chris doesn't
Okay.
make any
He steps back
The
inside,
podcast highlights
closes
two
the
main
door,
ways to do this.
and
Okay.
as he
Capital
does,
appreciation,
he feels this
which is
cold brush
essentially
against his neck.
buying
Oh,
low and
God,
selling
no.
Like
high.
something just
And dividends,
grazed
where
his-
you
Too
receive
much,
a
I
share
can't
of the
handle
company's
it.
profits.
and then
Right.
They
his
actually
phone
shared a
buzzes.
really interesting
No.
story about a
Another
company
voicemail.
called
From the
Infosys
same number.
Okay.
the same
that
number.
experienced like
And this
phenomenal
time,
growth
This
since
time
the
what?
90s.
the
What's
voice is
really
clearer.
interesting.
Yeah.
Clearer.
No
And
more
that's
trembling,
captivating,
no more
right? It's like,
whisper.
wow.
Oh, God.
Those
It's
early
Nina's
investors, they
voice,
certainly reaped
loud
their
and clear.
rewards.
Right. What did she say?
But
She
this
says, "Raj,
podcast wisely emphasizes
You shouldn't have opened the
that
door.
no.
being
Nope.
a successful
Nope.
investor,
done.
you know, it's
Chills,
not just
right.
about chasing stock
So
tips.
what do you think?
Right.
It's about
Was it
having
really
a solid
Nina?
strategy.
Okay.
I mean,
it's-
how
you know
is
what it
that
is,
even
like-
possible?
It's like
Right.
you wouldn't
If
bake
she's
a cake
dead,
without a recipe.
how is she
would you?
leaving voicemails?
No.
It's the same
Ghosts.
thing. You gotta have your recipe.
Spirits, I don't know.
So
And
speaking
who
of
or
recipes,
what touched him at the door?
what kind of
Maybe
strategies
whatever was watching
does
him,
this
the
podcast
they
recommend
from the
for
first voicemail.
baking
Could
that
be.
perfect
Or maybe it's
investment
something completely
portfolio?
different, something
Okay,
we haven't
so
even thought
they
of.
delve
Right, like
into
some
a
kind
few
of
different
supernatural
approaches.
entity
Okay.
or
And they
something.
really
But what about that
contrast
last line you shouldn't have
long-term
opened the
investing,
door?
which
What does that even
focuses
mean?
on
It sounds like a warning.
that steady
he's done
growth
something
over
really
time.
bad.
With
Like
swing
he's
trading, which is
unleashed
more about
something by
capitalizing
opening the door.
on
Exactly.
and
what does that mean for
short-term
Raj?
market
What's going to happen to
fluctuations.
him now?
Okay.
like the
I
ups
don't
and
know,
downs.
but it can't be
Gotcha.
good.
So it's like choosing
so what
between
would you do if you were in Raj's shoes?
baking a slow
Would you try to
fermented
contact Nina
sourdough
again?
loaf
Right.
and
Maybe
whipping
try
up
to
a
figure
batch
out
of
how
quick
she's
cookies.
communicating.
Each one
Ooh, that's
requires a
risky.
different approach.
What if you don't like
Absolutely.
what you find out?
And
True.
regardless of your
Or
approach,
would
like
you just
there are
run,
always
get
those
as far
baking
away from that house
pitfalls
as
to
possible?
avoid.
Maybe,
Right.
You know what I
but
mean?
What if
Totally.
whatever
Like
it
the
is
podcast
follows
does a great
him?
job
Right. There's
of
so many
highlighting
possibilities.
some
And that's
common
what makes
mistakes
this story
investors
so
make.
terrifying.
Okay.
Like
It really
one
makes
of them
you
is
think,
chasing hot
doesn't
tips
it,
without doing your
about
research.
what might
Right.
be
It's like
out there
adding ingredients
lurking in
to
the
your
shadows.
batter
And
without knowing what
sometimes
they are,
Yeah.
the things we
you might
don't
end up
know,
with something
the
completely
questions that are left
unexpected,
unanswered,
not in a
those are
good
the
way.
scariest things of
Exactly.
all.
Just
because like
Agreed.
a stock is
Definitely
trending,
gonna
it
sleep
doesn't
with the
mean it's
lights
the
on
right
tonight.
ingredient
Me
for your
too.
portfolio.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm